Oh, looks like we're running a little late today because somebody didn't do his chores.
Don't switch it over.
That dog, I swear to God, I'm going to kill him.
That was Sadie.
I know, but those dogs. Every week. Hello and welcome. This is Travis Dunn with the SpiderCast.
And I'm Austin with the SpiderCast.
All right. And so today is going to be life's do's and don'ts. We're going to talk a little bit about the Walmart gaming PCs, also known as the overpowered gaming line. We're going to talk about the discless Xbox One rumors, and we're going to talk about a very nasty Fallout 76 bug, which seems to be the topic we keep jumping back to because it's been such a crazy topic the last few weeks.
Yeah, I feel like as more stuff gets found out with Fallout 76, we're always going to have something new for Fallout news, at least for like the next month.
And then also we're gonna talk about selfies and how dangerous a selfie is. It's more of a thing of your generation, I think, but this is a cautionary tale for anybody trying to take a selfie. So it'll be a lot of fun topics today. I'm going to apologize up front for anybody that may have been trying to chat with us last week. Unfortunately, the chat bot that we normally have up was not working properly, so I think there was a couple of people that tried to chat.
Yeah, there was.
And I apologize that we missed it. I'm going to also apologize for the way we sound, or if at any given time we may have to blow our nose because we're the whole family's sick. The noses are running. It's horrible. I feel like crap. And it's kind of one of those things. We're still here doing this. Yep, we're gonna. This is the third episode, and we're gonna continue.
Woo! We made it this far.
Yay! We're making it to episode 3. If you're watching us live, thank you for watching. If you're not, you can follow us on live Tuesday nights, about 8 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/SpiderARA713. Otherwise, you can pretty much follow us in the audio version of this podcast on pretty much just about any major podcast. We're on Spotify. I don't think I've got anything for iTunes yet, but
yeah, you haven't updated me on that in a while.
Yeah, we're on like 7 or 8 different major podcasts. So just search for SpiderCast if you're interested to follow on
SpiderCast Podcast. I made that mistake. I was just looking up SpiderCast and it showed a fishing reel. I'm not kidding.
I guess you could take it that way, but all right, let's get started. All right, I'll let you start jumping into this. Now, I got to ask you the question. You've had several gaming PCs. Obviously, everything you've had has been custom built in one form or another. It's been either new parts, old parts, whatever. We've never really talked about the whole buying a gaming PC,
a pre-built gaming PC.
What have you actually looked at the pictures of this particular case?
Which one? Which case?
Of the overpowered gaming PCs?
No, not really.
Yeah, go ahead and pull that up. You can find that at Walmart.com. It's not hard to find. Moving the tissues here.
Okay, let's. Come on. Are they kind of like these?
Yeah, the first one there is.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, that one there. If you want to put that up on the stream, we'll kind of show what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. It's a tempered glass case. I think Gamers Nexus. I started to watch this video.
Almost kind of like mine.
I think it's a kind of a rose wheel case is what apparently, and it's got some. These have got basically their logos plastered all over it. As a, if you want to call it the PC master race, I kind of feel like, I always want to put my personal touch in building the PC.
Yeah, I would always want to put a personal touch, like leave a little mark of, hey, I did this.
Well, and there's always that thing of, for me, like, the way I do most of my PCs is most of the time I'll put about $400 or $500 a year ish, and I use that that's I've spent more, I've spent less. You know, it just varies from year to year.
This year I think we definitely put more of that.
Actually, this has been a light year for me. Because I haven't bought a CPU yet.
Well, no, because I had the major computer
I didn't buy
crash.
Well, and I think that, but even though I think I probably spent $100 on you on that.
I thought you said about $3.
If you count the vinyl cutter, yeah, I spent about $300. If you count the vinyl cutter.
I mean, that is basically parts of.
Well, I bought that for kind of different reasons. I kind of intended on returning it, but I kind of lost the receipt, so I guess I own it now. But it's fine. I will use it for different.
We use it for a lot of stuff.
We'll use it for different stuff. In fact, my next computer build, which I plan on doing a full video thing as I start to assemble the parts and get it put together, because it's going to be about an 80% rebuild. I think the only thing I'm going to reuse is my graphics card, my SSD, and my hard drive.
So what I'm hearing is I'm going to be getting some parts.
You will probably be getting some parts in the near future, which is kind of bad because it means I'm going to have to tear this thing apart and put it back.
Yeah, and that's the one thing neither one of us want to happen. Is this get torn down.
So, yeah, that will be coming. And but anyway, back to the subject. The whole, you know, kind of the PC in a box. Most of the big factors the reason why I don't like doing it is you spend a lot more money than you would buying the parts separately, and putting together a computer is really not that hard. I mean, you've done it, you've assisted with it.
Heck, I had a whole class in school where I basically just tore apart a computer, put it back together in 45 minutes.
Yeah, you really can. You can legitimately. If you know where parts go, and it's kind of a jigsaw puzzle. It's not rocket science. I can put it together a PC and be starting to put Windows within 30 minutes, as long as I'm not doing anything crazy. Like yours obviously took a lot longer, but
yeah, this one took like 3 hours.
I was doing a lot of new things that I'd never done before. This was a kind of a unique case, and I was being very meticulous about cable routing. Which took a little bit. I probably spent 40 minutes on cable routing.
You took like an hour, because the first 2 hours were you just trying not to screw anything up.
Yeah, but you know, it's one of those things that you can legitimately. Was that your phone?
Yep.
Turn your damn phone down. You can legitimately put it together a PC in about 30 minutes and save yourself, in many cases, several $100s. Now, at first, looking at the price, these sound reasonable. They have kind of like a 3-tier. They have like a $1,500, like a $1,600 or $1,800, and then like a little over $2,000 versions. And it pretty much goes up the scale of what you get as far as components. It's got 10 series graphics cards, NVIDIA CPUs. They come with SSDs.
That's not me. Are you? Yeah, that's you this time.
Yeah, it was the one thing I didn't have turned down. I had the ringtone turned off, but I didn't have the notification apparently. So it's apparently one of those days for us to go ding. So
fries are done.
Fries are done. The fries are done. But I was the first time, and what's funny is I saw these about 2 weeks before some of the tech reviewers on YouTube started. Did you actually watch the video for Gamers Nexus?
No, I don't think you ever sent it to me, or
the link was in the show notes.
What?
Yeah, it's right there. Right there.
Oops.
At the bottom of it.
Yeah. Oops.
So anyway, but Steve at Gamers Nexus ordered the $2,100 PC, which is the top of the line, and got the $1,400 PC. He was not happy, and I don't blame him. But the other reason why he wasn't happy, and I agree with him, is he's like, how many people, parents, grandparents are going to buy something like this for one of their kids? to have as a gaming machine, because obviously it's Walmart, so they trust Walmart, and they're going to order it and they're going to ship it to them, and the kids may or may not, may or may not know that they were supposed to get something with more components. So it's like, is this, is he the only one this has happened to? I mean, a tech reviewer goes out, spends his own money to buy this machine to review, and he gets the wrong one. Like, what's the chances that he is the only one that did that specifically happened to?
And, it's right around the corner from Christmas, and, Black Friday went, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably got one of these, and
yeah, I mean,
we're going to be seeing a lot of angry reviews coming from customers.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the customer reviews are, but let me tell you, go ahead and switch back over to the, and then yeah, all right. So the thing with Steve is he tore it apart, and I have a lot of pet peeves with the way the system was built and the way the system was, what was hardware was available in it. So they did a single in this machine. He had a single 16 gigabyte RAM chip, which is my first pet peeve. For one, single chips are always more expensive because you're shoving a lot more memory on a chip. So I don't know where they would have saved money there. Maybe they thought they were saving a little bit and having somebody click in an extra chip, or having the physical inventory of that extra chip. You should always, if you're in a machine, to have dual channel memory. And what that means is you split the available memory in half, and it splits the bandwidth between the two chips.
That was you.
I turned it down. Why is that?
Because I felt mine buzz.
All right, I'm turning everything off. Actually, I'm going to turn off my phone. The only reason I had mine on was because I was actually watching the next I was actually watching the next video that Steve from Gamers Nexus was right before we started the stream. Yeah, we're professional streamers. Just ignore the
little mistakes that we make.
Yeah, ignore this. It's kind of like ignore the person in the background. We're just the people in the background. So anyway, so 16 gigabytes of that was on one chip. So no dual channel, which meant you're losing memory bandwidth there. The motherboard that they used was a fairly cheap gigabyte motherboard, but not so cheap, at least if you're buying retail, that you couldn't have got a way better motherboard for what the retail price of that is. It's got lower bus speeds, which is basically, for anybody who's not familiar with computers, it's how much information travels between all the components in the computer in the main processor. So less speed, has less I/O, which I/O is things like your USB ports, your memory slots, your hard drive connections. You're getting a non-K CPU. Both the SSD and memory are from ADATA, which is fine. It's a fine brand. It's usually a little cheaper than most, but it's okay. There's no dust filter, poor cable routing. The front fans, the glass is literally kind of butt up against each other, so there's almost no airflow for those fans that you see in the front of the case. And probably my biggest pet peeve is they use a Great Wall 500 watt power supply.
I'd never even heard of that brand.
Yeah, it's some Chinese brand power supply.
Of course it is.
And it's just let me tell you, power supply is one of those things that you do not want to cheap out.
No, because that's literally, you don't have a good power supply, your computer ain't running.
Yeah, a power supply you can have a whole line of problems that you can't figure out, only to find out that it was a power supply not providing enough power to one component or another, and it will make a computer do really funky things. You will think the graphics card's not working, you will think the hard drive's bad, you'll think the CPU's gone out or something else, only to find out that that there was a bad cable somewhere to the motherboard or whatever, and or the power supply was about to fail. I can't count the number of people I know that have replaced a very expensive component or RMA'd it, only to within 2 weeks later go, oh, I had to replace the power supply because it went bad. That was probably the problem to begin with. It really, honestly, if you ever have weird issues that you can't track down, you can't make that happens randomly, there's a good chance it's probably your power supply. It just, that is how important it is. And it is a very cheap power supply. It's got very little amperage for what I think. I normally don't buy a power supply less than 500 watts, 80 plus certified, which means 80% of that 500 watts is solid. It is 80% efficiency. So you're getting that the higher level of that 500 watts available to you. And I normally don't go less than 30 or so amps on the rail. And I think I saw on the sticker it said like 24. And when you're dealing with a now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't have a overclock CPU, so you're not dealing with that. But it does have that $1,400 system does have a 1070 in it, which is 150 watts by itself. When you're running it full tilt, it's a solid 150 watts. It may even be higher than that. Both the motherboard and the graphics card are gigabytes, which is fine for the most part as far as a brand. I've used them over the years. They're one of my go-to brands. But it's just a really poorly assembled system. It's a poorly component system, even for the price. There are plenty of other companies that build out of the box PCs that you can get for similar money with much better components. And there's where a little due diligence, you can go on YouTube. I mean, you're the YouTube age, so you can go on YouTube and find anything about anything on YouTube. It's really basically, if you don't know what to do about building a computer or buying a computer, just take a look at find some of the major, whether it's Linus Tech Tips, Jay's 2 Cents, Bitwit, not Awesome Hardware, Paul's Hardware, Gamers Nexus. A lot of, like I said, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that have great videos about choosing hardware, about installing hardware, whether it's budget stuff all the way up to the enthusiast top grade stuff. And I say, don't buy these PCs. Go somewhere else. I mean, that's what ultimately it comes down to. Don't buy these PCs. Go somewhere else. I would never recommend them. And I was curious because like I said, I saw these about 2 weeks before reviewers started going, talking about it on Twitter and stuff like that. And I finally was just like, oh my God, is these really worth it? And I had my reservations, and I was correct. It was spot on as far as these. All right, we'll move on to the next subject. I think I yacked enough for both of us. So
yeah.
All right, I'll let you jump into the next one.
So next one is a discless Xbox One, possibly coming in the future, not too far away actually. Maybe in 2019, don't know when. For $149 seems like. And well, we all know Xbox will definitely not pull out an Xbox One X and just take out the disk drive and put it down at $149. So it's most likely probably going to be an S.
Yeah, if I saw this rumor start popping up and then everybody kind of ran with it. It makes sense. Xbox is always known for building, if you want to call it cheaper or slimmer, a lot of times with less components. And Xbox, even in the beginning, remember they wanted to go diskless. Like they were pushing that that diskless thing.
Now, see, this kind of shows you, and this shows everyone, that we're getting more and more into digital age. Stuff like disc and just ports are going out. It's more digital now.
Well, and all the major gaming companies want to do the Steam model. They want to keep as much revenue in house. They don't obviously they don't want to have to share it with retailers. And I understand that from a financial standpoint. The problem when you get into a lot of consoles is the collecting aspect. A lot of people collect video games. It is a thing. It is a hobby. You've got people like John Hancock. If you see him on YouTube, he has probably one of the most extensive collections of vintage video games I have ever seen. I mean, he has I think 26 complete U.S. collections as far as video game systems, and I don't ask me which ones. I have no idea off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, the people like to collect video games. It is an art. It is it is a thing, and obviously manufacturers don't care about that. They care about the bottom line. So we knew that the idea of the discless Xbox was coming. Like I said, rumors are abound, and then the price number started being rolled out from unnamed sources. So pretty good likely that we will get a discless version, and I kind of understand. I mean, because for $149, that's a nice price point to jump in if you don't own one or if you want a second one. Now there also talk of there's going to be like a trade-in system where you can trade in like if you own physical games and you're buying a new Xbox and you want to obviously still play them, you're going to be able to take your games into an authorized retailer and trade them in for codes for download. So I guess my only other problem with when it comes to digital is when you get let's say I'm going to throw out a random let's say Activision decides we're not going to deal with Xbox anymore. We're going to pull all our stuff off the Xbox store. Then you run into the problem, and this is a problem that's happened on Steam, where a game creator just decides, they're gonna do their own market. They're gonna pull their stuff, and now you no longer can get or re-download these games that you've paid for.
Kind of like Bethesda did to Steam not too long ago, because they were doing their own launching.
Right, you can't get the new.
Kind of like Blizzard has with their Battle.net.
Yeah, they left their old stuff, but yeah, you're right. The new stuff is now you have to go through their own market to purchase.
Like I saw that actually Fallout 4 is getting taken off the Xbox Game Pass. It's being, I think I've also heard that's being taken out of Xbox Store.
I haven't heard that, but
I heard a few people talking about it a few days ago, but I have not gotten to check it out myself.
Yeah, and that's ultimately that. I mean, that's the problem with the whole digital only disc, no disc thing, and that's the reason I don't like it. Like if it was always, these guys have long-term contracts or they have rules set up to say if a game is no longer a game may be no longer sold on the market, but it is accessible to anybody that purchased it from the market. It should always be available to re-download if you've purchased. Otherwise, I'll be honest, I think you're entitled to a refund.
Mm-hmm.
That's my personal opinion, but to me, you're paying to play. When you can no longer play because they've turned it off, because somebody got a wild hair up their butt, I mean, that's my only problem. But as far as the $149, it's a good price mark. It's going to be a lot easier for people. I mean I
definitely feel like they're going to get a lot more sales.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'll sell fairly well. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be a lot of people's first Xbox, but I think if for somebody that maybe wants or the big thing too is if you want a media machine for your home,
it would be a good starting price point for someone who's like only ever done PlayStation and wants to try Xbox.
That too.
To jump in and just see what.
That very, very much so. But yeah, I mean, somebody that just wants a media machine, even that plays Netflix, and YouTube, and I mean, that's one thing Xbox has, is it's got a wide variety of apps available to you that, HBO Go, all, like I said, YouTube, Netflix, Hulu. I mean, you can pretty well watch it all. So, like I said, doesn't surprise me. Price point, I think, is spot on. I think that's a point where most people would possibly pay for. I think the only thing sucks about it is the fact that and this is probably the reason you're getting it at that price, is you're losing the 4K Blu-ray. I mean, to me, as a
yeah, you're losing the reader for that.
As a full-on media, even to use an Xbox as a media machine, I want that Blu-ray capability. That's why I wanted an Xbox One S. So I wanted that 4K. I have one 4K TV in the house, and I have some 4K Blu-rays that I've purchased over the last couple of years that I'd love to take full advantage of. So,
because let's face it, 4K Blu-ray players or 4K players at all just flat out cost a little too much.
They're too close to an Xbox One S. They really are. They are.
There's no reason why they shouldn't cost that much.
Yeah, there's no reason you're right. There's no reason they should cost that much for just a player. That's why I bought an Xbox One S for myself for Christmas. That's the thing about being an adult. You get to buy yourself stuff for Christmas, but you get to ruin the surprise. There's always somebody always buys you something that surprises you. And I also find that the funniest things that I used to hate getting as a kid, like I used to hate getting socks and T-shirts and clothes, because it was for us it was that we didn't grow up rich. I mean, I grew up pretty poor, and lower middle class would be the proper term, I guess, if you want to put it that. But I enjoy getting those. Like, I enjoy getting weird socks. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know why. As I've grown older, there are things that I just now kind of enjoy that I really have no rhyme or reason that I do. That's just one of those things. Like, I enjoy getting the really dumb things at Christmas.
But yet, when it comes to flying pig socks for Father's Day, you seem to not care.
Why? I like the flying pig socks.
I've never seen you wear them.
I've worn them a couple of times. I just don't wear them often. The only reason I don't wear those often is the fabric. Like, I want cotton. Those were those almost nylon ones, and I don't really care for the nylon ones. That's the only reason I don't wear them very often. They make my feet hot. It's one of those weird things. All right. Now that we were down that rabbit hole, so we're gonna move into we're gonna talk about Fallout 76 again, and I'll be honest. If anybody might be tired of listening to us talk about Fallout 76, it's not gonna end because there's been some stupid shit that's been going on. Did you see the video? Have you seen one of the videos that...
I have not seen much about Fallout 76. I have not been watching a lot of it.
There's a video...
Because I want to play it for myself.
This guy's playing with a group, and there's like these two machines. They're set next to each other. One is just a random object, but the machine that's beside it is one of the ones you got to go up to get grab something for your next, to complete the quest or to advance the quest. The one that's to the left is solid. You bump into it. There's no, but there's no physical interaction. The one that's the part of the quest, you walk through it, you walk in it, out of it, but you can't access it. It's totally inaccessible. So it's clipped out of the game. So Fallout 76 has had a ton of bugs, and it's been worse than normal.
That was really expected when they announced Fallout 76 to be coming out, because heck, all online games, let's face it, they have bugs.
Well, and you're always gonna have bugs, but some of these are just like, they're game breaking bugs. They're horrible. One player though has got both the best and the worst bug you can ever have in a game, especially an online multiplayer game.
Oh, why? I would just love to have this one. I'll take full advantage.
He's invincible.
In God mode?
Yeah. Something happened and he apparently he can stand next to a nuclear explosion.
So Hulk level, puny god.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, seriously, he can't do nothing.
Level 500 player, level 2, I'm invincible.
I guess his hit points say 0. Have -0 on it. But he can't. People can't shoot him. Enemies can't kill him. Like I said, apparently him and his friends, just as an experiment, they dropped a nuke right where he was, and it did not kill him. Like, it dropped in front of his face, and it didn't kill him. So he's, and I'm going to quote this. He says, "I've had to limit myself to more boring activities because I do not want my exploration or PvP aspect ruined by my game mode and
God mode.
Sorry, God mode. And the annoying thing is that at some point I'm just going to have to not care if they cannot fix it, because that's part of the problem. He's been back and forth with Bethesda, and they can't seem to fix it.
Now, see, what I would try to do, even though I would hate to do it, depending on how much he's already played and all that, and I just hit that chord, but depending on how much he's already played and how much experience and all that, restart the game fully.
Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately that may be what he ends up having to do.
Make a new character, go through, play.
But I'm not even sure how that works, to be honest. I'm not sure if you can create multiple characters.
Well, if you're able to delete the character,
That
if they do what kind of like they did with Fallout 4, you have 4 different characters that you can play.
I mean, that's a good question. That's one thing I didn't see in the article that I read about it. No one mentioned about whether or not he could just delete it and start a new character, but yeah, I mean that's essential. It makes me wonder if he's kind of the topic at the beginning. It's like, how, is he the only one? Or is he just the only one that is like...
Now, what if they secretly wrote this in as one person on like every server has his potential ability?
I would say if it was that
like he's god of the server.
If it was that common, then we would have seen plenty of...
Okay, one of every like million players.
I don't know, maybe, but like I said, it's kind of hilarious and kind of sad at the same time, because it does. And I totally understand his point. He doesn't want to ruin
the game for himself,
for both himself and for other people. Like he said, I read farther in the article, and he said he's like, I have to avoid PvP completely because they can't kill me. Think about it. If he shoots somebody and they shoot him back and start PvP.
But you just said that players can't shoot him.
They can't kill him. They can't hurt him. Remember the way the Fallout 76 PvP is.
Yeah.
If I shoot
you, you shoot me.
Then it turns on. And apparently him and his friends have experimented, and nobody can kill him. He's unkillable. So, yeah.
Have they tried dropping 2 nukes on him?
Well, if you drop 3, you're just going to crash the server anyway.
That's why I said 2. Maybe 2.5. We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. Get like 4, mini nuke launchers, and just shoot them at him.
I don't even know. That'd be interesting. I don't know if there's mini nukes.
Drop a big nuke and shoot mini nukes.
Yeah, I don't know if there's mini nukes in the that's a bit
that's one of the classic Fallout weapons. They better have that in there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in there or not. We'll have to find we'll maybe have to find out at some point.
Ray gun, mini nuke.
Possibly. All right. I'll let you take this one, because this one's a little, like I said, this one falls into your generation.
Oh, going for the biggest topic of the day. Selfies. Are they dangerous? Let's find out. So, some 259 people worldwide have apparently died while taking selfies. According to a study, don't know where this one came from, published in the Journal of Family Medicine and Primary Care, researchers from the All India Institute.
Yeah.
That does not make sense. Of Medical Sciences, a group of public medical colleges in New Delhi, scoured news reports on selfie deaths that occurred from October 2011 to November of 2017. And it found that most selfie deaths occurred in India, of all places, followed by Russia, of course, with how cold it is there most of the time. The U.S., that honestly is not surprising. And Pakistan. Most of the victims were men, which I would expect most of it to be women, to be honest. I mean, look at Faith. She's the
selfie queen.
Yeah. And we're under the age of 30. Now, that makes a bit of sense, because
that's why I said
you're not big into the selfies. Of course, I'm not that big into it. But, like, around my age...
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely not my age group. You know, I'm the year 2000 coming out of. So, cell phones were really not... Like, they were starting to get big at that point. No, but it's
more of the people who grew up with them.
Right. It's more of those that were born... probably 19...
I would say about 1995, maybe.
No. Well, maybe 1995. Yeah, maybe 1995. That might be a good ballpark. But yeah, it's definitely, like I said, definitely, because I'm 36, so they said, it's almost 8 years, 6 to 8 years.
Yeah, that'll put them about 23 years, I think.
So yeah, it's kind of, I found this article kind of hilarious when I was reading it. That's why I kind of put it in. And I guess drowning is the leading cause of selfie death.
Hold up. Did you just say drowning?
Drowning.
Are they drowning of selfies?
They're drowning their fears and tears away. I mean,
Are they drowning because of their tears?
I guess most of the deaths involve people being washed away by waves on a beach or falling out of a boat.
Okay, where are you? Okay, I would take a selfie on the beach, but not where like a dang huge wave could crash into me and kill me.
I think we're especially the ones with being washed away with waves. I think probably what it is you get on the rocks, and you're trying to take the selfie, and the water's kind of splashing, and a big wave comes in, and you're trying to get that ultimate
kind
selfie.
of smashes you against the rocks, and next thing you know, you're in the water. You can't get out.
You lose your balance, and I think that's probably. That's where a lot of that comes into play.
So the classic romance movie knockout amnesia scene.
Yeah, something like that. But, so I guess recently a couple, and this is where why this article and the other and what we're about to talk about kind of playing together. A couple fatally fell 800 feet from Yosemite National Park. Overlooked a couple of weeks ago when they were in the process of taking a selfie. And I guess this couple have been notorious for doing kind of less than safe selfies. So they were like at the edge of the kind of one of the cliffs, and they were kind of doing this, and they lost their footing. Don't share that on stream because it's might get us.
I'm not. That's why I'm in this, because I'm actually. What is this actually a video of it?
No, but the video there shows a little bit of the area near
around they were.
Yeah. So yeah, the man was 30. The girl was 30. The husband was 29.
Okay.
And I guess the only reason they found out what happened was that
they stopped posting.
Well, no. Apparently, the brother or something of one of them found the camera because they'd set up a tripod to take the selfies.
I'm guessing they were gone for a little while, so someone went looking.
They went missing. Somebody went looking for them. They knew roughly where they were going to be at, and then he found the camera, and ultimately, I think that's when they found their bodies. Yeah, apparently the thinking that
the wind gust
probably
gust knocked them off.
May have been the factor there. Yeah,
where is Yosemite National Park located?
Is it Oh my god, I should know that because it's.
You've been around longer than me.
Probably should have went to maps.
California.
Okay, Northern California, I think it is.
And it looks like it's in
For some reason I was thinking Utah.
Yeah, it looks like it's in like a valley area.
Yeah.
So that would kind of make sense why the wind gusts.
Yeah, definitely an area that sees that kind of thing. But I in the back of my head, like I kind of like there are times when I kind of understand where something like that might happen. But in the same boat, when for me, like maybe I'm just because I'm a different generation. Like, I know that standing on some rocks when there's waves crashing at you, yeah, it may look good, but it's dangerous.
If you're definitely an adrenaline junkie, that might be for you.
Yeah. The smart part of my brain would tell me this is not a good idea. And, maybe when I was your age or a little old, if I was in my early teens or 20s, maybe that, the smart part of my brain wouldn't have
kicked in as fast.
Yeah, because I've done some dumb stuff when I was, at that age. But yeah, to me, that is just like in my brain, it says this is not a good idea. I mean, it's really, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. It just, they're literally getting to the point where there are certain places now that are creating no selfie, like they'll put up signs that says no selfies.
So what is it kind of like? What, before you walk in, you put your phone on a conveyor belt, it goes all the way through in a concealed area, and on the other side,
a lot of what they're doing is they're putting up like I've seen pictures of
what signs being placed.
They'll put signs up that say no selfies within 50 feet of the edge or something like that, or 25 feet of the edge.
Here's the thing: do you think people are really going to listen?
That's ultimately the problem.
I mean, look at the highways for speeding.
Yeah, and people just totally...
They see the signs, they acknowledge the signs, but do they listen?
They ignore them. And they bob and weave through traffic, and they drive like they're Mario.
And that's why we have accidents.
But, actually, that's pretty much... That was the topics for this week. We kind of steamrolled through pretty well, considering we stopped late, which is fine. We kind of shoot for about a 45-50 minute show. We've actually been a little longer the last couple weeks.
We kind of had a lot more topics to talk about, bigger topics.
Now, the one topic that we're going to talk about next week is the big gaming awards. I'm not sure who actually puts them on, but it's...
Should we actually see who the nominees are?
The website is... That's actually what I want to go through and talk about next week. But the website is called the gameawards.com. And we're next week we'll go through and see who all the nominees are. I've done a rough go through at it, and
when are the Game Awards fully being?
December 6th. So I think it'll be. Yeah,
we'll be right in time for it.
Yep, we'll be right before the. I knew it was right before the. So the next show will be literally like 2 days before. But we'll go through different things now. As far as like the big one is going to be Game of the Year.
Oh yeah, that's.
And there are three big contenders for me: Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War. I don't think Spider-Man has a good chance, and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Spider-Man, I would say, had a good story.
I'd say God of War or Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably my guess for Game of the Year.
Yeah, definitely. But if we're going by sales, I would either say Spider-Man or Monster World. Hunter
for Game of the
if they're going for sales.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look at the real numbers. I bet you.
Now, if they're going for best storyline, art, and all that overall,
ultimately it's going to be
then Red Dead or God.
You got to remember, Game of the Year is purely based on vote. So it's whatever people think was the best game of the year. It's not necessarily based on how many copies or whatever.
Okay, now I'm starting to look at all the things.
But like I said, we're gonna go through that one next week, and we're gonna sit down. We'll do a live. We'll pick our choices on what we think.
So that would definitely be one where you want to be on the Twitch stream.
Yep, you're gonna really want to be on the Twitch stream next week. which you can follow live. Like I said, we do about 8 to 8:30 every Tuesday from twitch.tv/SpiderARA713. You can also find us on most of the major podcasting if you want to listen to the audio portion of this podcast. You can find me at MyDoneLife, both on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can find me on Instagram at SpiderARA713_WookieCookie.
Yes, there's a joke that there's a joke about the Wookiee cookie. We'll talk about that in a podcast coming up here sometime soon. The only show that we will not have is the Tuesday of Christmas. We will not do a show that week, but we will do a show the following week. So if you're looking for us through the holidays, like I said,
that's Christmas Day.
Yeah, that's Christmas Day. So we won't be doing a podcast that day. We will.
I say we do that like the day after.
I'm gonna wait because it'll be the first of the year when we do. We'll take that week off. We'll come back to the Tuesday first year, talk about what we got for Christmas, what we didn't get for Christmas, things maybe that we would have liked to have purchased but didn't for one reason or another. And I think that'll be a good start to the new year, and it'll be the first full. We'll get a first full start of the year. So, like I said, we'll have a few more weeks in of episodes. 3 more weeks, I think. Yeah, we got 3 more weeks of episodes. We're gonna skip Christmas, and then we'll be back to the first of the year. So, we plan on having plenty of stuff to talk about. Like I said, we're a father-son podcast. We talk about pretty much gaming, tech, and life, and anything.
The answer is 42.
Yes, the answer is always 42. But just something we enjoy doing. If we get 3 views or we get 1,000 views, it doesn't really matter. We're just doing this for fun. If you'd like to, like I said, if you'd like to come and join us, we'll be happy to talk topics with you. Feel free to jump in, chat at any given time when we're doing this live, and we'll certainly try to make this as entertaining as we possibly can, even though we're 2 very, very boring people.
At points, we are boring.
We are very boring people. My wife says I'm the most boringest person on the planet.
I'm keeping my mouth shut for that comment.
All right. Well, I'm Travis.
And I'm Austin.
And this has been the SpiderCast episode 3. And thank you for joining. And we'll catch you in the next episode. Have a great day.
See y'all later.